Playing Possum Podcast.
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 Playing Possum Podcast. Ooh, here we are. We're playing. We're possums. We're playing Possums Podcast. What?
Ooh, we're on.
Ooh, what'd you just crack open?
Orange.
Ooh, I have like a giant cup of, it's full of one full LaCroix, and then I fill the rest with orange juice and grapefruit juice.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Refreshing.
Be gone, viruses.
I was going to say, good for somebody on the mend, huh?
Yes, everyone. I had COVID. I'm better now, but I will say, don't get it.
Yeah, no fun. At any point has that ever been fun for anyone. Well, you sound good.
Thank you. I spent the whole morning prepping my voice, doing vocal warm-ups. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. How are you? You're at the cabin.
I am good. I am well. I am about 2 weeks in of perfect solitude, and sadly it'll be ending here in about 7 or 8 days, but I'll be back. You know how I like my solitude these days. Speaking of COVID, ever since COVID, I learned that I'm my own best company, and I enjoy my peace and quiet. No offense to anybody else. I love your company too, everyone, but I love mine more.
I feel like we're like the opposites. Like, I'm like, I do not want to spend any time with myself unless I am sleeping.
I love time with myself. I can't wait to hang out with me again.
I'm like, I don't like you. Find someone else to hang out with.
People wear me out now. No, I didn't take it that way. But yeah, people wear me out now. I just don't have the energy for it like I used to. I think I faked it for a good, how old am I? 45. I think I faked it for 30 years. And yeah. I'm an adult, damn it. I don't have to fake it if I don't want to.
I know. It's so nice. I will say I am more choosy about who I spend time with.
That's fair.
And I feel like I am more free for people to not enjoy me, including myself. But like, I'm just like, I feel like I wanted everyone to love me and like me, and I don't feel that way anymore, which is really nice.
Same. Yeah, I think I put it, well, maybe not 100%, but yeah, I put a lot of energy into that for a long time. Because we both went through a lot of different settings, you know, lots of different schooling, lots of different groups of people, lots of different work experiences and stuff like that. And not missing it. This is the season of my life where I get to be alone and enjoy it.
I know. I love that for you.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. This is exactly how I want it. This is not a problem.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
Well, and I think like we've had this conversation a lot of like where people are like, you know, like there's people who feel like you have to be partnered and you have to have a family. And like the thing about that is like if you do that, like you have a lot of people around you all the time.
Well, and they're never going to go away.
I know. Like I still spend the night at my parents' house, even though they live in the same town as me.
Wait, say that again?
I said I still spend the night at my parents' house sometimes, even though they live in the same town as me. I'm like, I just want to spend the night here.
I'd love to spend the night with your parents. I think that'd be fun.
Yes.
Sleepover.
Yeah, they cannot get rid of me and Brian. It is rough for them.
No, nor would they want to. They're into it.
Yeah. But yeah, you're just like with someone for always. Yeah. So I am a big believer that just having alone time is really good. And I wish I was better at it. I've never been very good at like, I don't go to dinner alone. I don't do movies alone. It's really hard for me to do that kind of stuff. And it's not that I have like a negative connotation for it. It's more like, I think it's like I don't know, like a thing where it's just like, I need someone else to help me do the thing. Like one of my other best friends, not you, but Suze, like I followed her to camp and I followed her to school and probably would have followed her to college, but I could not get in where she went. So
where'd Suze go? She went to Wake?
Yeah. Wake Forest. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like, and then like my friend, like I moved in with my friend to go be a snowboard instructor, and then I moved in with my other friend to go be a snowboard instructor. So I'm always just like, why don't you test it out,
Right,
see if it's good, and if it is, send me a line and I'll come.
yeah, I'm right behind you.
I'm
Yeah,
right
for
behind
sure.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's great if that's what people want. I just, in this particular season of my life, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
I used to have to do that. I did not want to be alone either, really. I'd rather be out and doing things and with the people that make me laugh and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not saying that it was COVID that changed it. It was just around that time that I guess I was forced to, we were all so many of us were forced to stay home. And I was like, I kind of like me. I kind of like the
Mm-hmm.
quiet. I think I could get down with this. And I have. So 5 years running, 5 years running, I'm still so happy with myself. What can I say?
I mean, I love spending time with you, so
Well,
I don't
likewise, I
blame
appreciate
you.
it. Yes, you're an exception to the rule, and I do have other exceptions. I love my brother and my sister-in-law, and a handful of cousins, which were a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, my day to day,
Speaking
and
of, the episode with your cousin was super good. She
Carrie
seems,
Carrie is wonderful. She's super talented, and I'm really grateful that she came to talk to us. She has a lot of cool stuff going on. Maybe we'll get to check back in with her at some point in the future.
yeah. Um, yeah, well, I feel like our conversation about being alone is like kind of giving me spooky vibes. And we
Well,
were
let's not
thinking
get too spooky. I am alone in the middle of the woods, so.
I know, but we're going to get a little spooky because Halloween just happened, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Dia de los Muertos. And so the veil is thin. And so we are bringing you a story, I wouldn't call it a ghost story, but I wouldn't not call it a ghost story. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And so we've done this a couple times before where Jamey and I, during COVID, when we were um, in our homes, we were all Zooming with each other. And so Jamey and I started this project that we were calling Beards.
Do you want to explain
And
why we call it that?
Beards, yeah. So there's a term in the queer community that's like, maybe you might have a probably more history around it than I do, but it's like
um,
basically saying, yeah, you go.
almost like the idea. We're talking about Halloween and costumes and stuff like that. The idea that like the glasses with the nose and the mustache, for like a lot of gay men, just out of necessity, um, being invited to weddings or whatever it is that you got to have a date. This we're talking about a generation before, a time when it wasn't so great to show up on your own gay self, and so you would need a date and essentially a beard, a disguise. And we nobody took better advantage of our beard relationship more than you and I. We went to every single high school dance together, and then when you changed schools, we added another high school's dances to that list. So, want to go to prom? Why not do it twice? Want to go to homecoming? Why not do it twice? You got a
Oh my
snowball.
god.
Y'all had some other stuff
I
too. I don't know,
know.
but
The best though, I think, and maybe we should post this on Instagram, is the photo of us in 8th grade and then in 10th grade, and I'm wearing the same dress, but like in 8th grade it looks like a potato sack. And then in 10th grade, it's like the LBD. I just learned this term watching TV, but like little black dress. And like
yeah,
I like came
yeah.
into my little hormone body.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great contrast too. It's like
Yes.
preteen to rockin' teenager.
Yes.
The
So that
soccer
one's really
athlete
funny for
filling out this
me.
dress.
Yeah, I feel like that those two pictures are really funny for me. But yeah, so for context for maybe new listeners or those that have tuned in, but Jamey and I grew up down the street from each other, and we went to the same school for a long time, and then I went to a different school sort of at the end of high school, and but we
10,
spent a
11,
lot of
12.
time wreaking havoc in our neighborhood. And then even recently when my parents moved out here last year, and so it was like this really sad sort of closure to the chapter of Pine Forest in Atlanta, Georgia. Feel free to make it like a place where Playing Possum fans go and yeah, harass people. But Jamey lived at the bottom of the hill and I lived at the top of the hill, and we would meet in the middle. And
Just like the country song
recently,
says.
yes, me in the middle. I start walking your way. You start walking mine. Anyways, we tore out our pictures from the yearbook and then buried them in the house in the middle at night. So we would always haunt that area. And so that's another photo maybe we should post, but it's quite good. And you have like the most extreme butt cut.
Perfect bowl cut, right? Not only was it short on the sides like it was supposed to, but I mean, it didn't just leave my head and start over. It was very much like Toad from Mario Kart, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And what was not known to everybody is if you lifted that up, it was buzzed all the way up to here. It sure was.
I did not know that.
Yeah. 8th grade. What can I say? Yeah.
I also
my Gap fashions. Yeah, and you had sort of a shorter hairdo at that time.
Yeah, it was like I wanted a short haircut like this, but what I got was a bowl cut. You know, like that was as short as the hairdresser thought it would be okay for a young lady to have, a pretty little lady.
You went to that Sigger's place everybody went to, and
yes,
Tucker
John
or whatever.
Sigger was his name, and he had like a dynasty, like a hair dynasty, and his son worked there, and it was like really fancy. My mom took me to the salon, and I think it kind of ruined me in that I do like going to a nice place.
Pampering from time to time.
Yeah.
It's still there, by the way, when I was in Atlanta a few weeks ago.
His son probably runs it.
Well, I assume it's still there. You still see the sign from 285.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so the story we're going to be telling is more of an elementary school story than a high school story. And it's about your basement.
I don't think we have any like high school Halloween stories. There is that one college story about.
Ooh, do you want to share that?
About you and Calpina driving by and throwing my costume at me the same night that I also won the costume contest. What? And didn't know until the following Monday back at classes at art school.
Yeah.
Remember, I fell in a fire pit.
You did. Yeah. Yeah, Jamey dressed as Velma, and like, I don't know, you had done something to make me mad, and so
breathing, and existing, who knows?
I know. Yeah, it could be anything. It can be just like looking at me the wrong way. And so you were I was like running around getting costume stuff, and I was getting
you see a brown skirt and delivered it at 25 miles an hour.
Oh my God! Here's your brown skirt.
Velma. But yeah, successful outfit.
Yeah.
I uncovered many clues and won the costume contest, much to my surprise. So I ended up with fire pit all over me, in my face, my beautiful face. All right, Halloween.
For some reason, I remember it as you ran to get your prize, but you ran straight through the fire pit.
I ran back in. We were leaving and we were going to another party, and I ran in to refill my solo cup at the keg one more time. And I'm there pumping, which was adjacent to a fire pit. It was not lit, and it was a wet, rainy night. But they were having everybody come in. There was a big circle, and they're like, "Ooh, costume contest!" And somebody was like, "Hey, get in there! Your turn!" We're all clapping for applause for how good your costume is. And so I'm like, I take about 3 steps into the middle of this circle and trip over the stone edging of the fire pit and go down like a wet noodle and drop my beer and don't receive much applause. I remember a lot of laughter. And yeah, it was quite embarrassing. But I managed to refill my beer and get out of there lickety split. But 48 hours later, I'd find out that I won the costume contest.
Yeah, you did.
Or I got honorable mention. I don't think I actually won. I think it was more like a consolation prize.
That is so funny. Yeah, I remember we trick-or-treated a lot growing up, but this particular event that we're going to tell a story about was a different type of Halloween. But we definitely trick-or-treated a lot. And do you remember, I feel like there was one year where people threw water balloons at us or tomatoes or something.
Don't remember that. I remember a snow day like that, but
Well, I don't know, but I don't even remember what we dressed up as this year. But so what we're gonna do is the typical thing where we, for this project, what we've been doing, the Beards project, is we each read our perspective of the story. And so the prompt for this story was this haunted house that we made in like elementary school. And so yeah, we do you want to read yours or do you want me to read mine first?
Your choice.
Okay, mine's pretty short, so I can go if you're good with that.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so this is my perspective of what happened. Okay, it was going to be so spooky. We could see it in our mind's eye. The best haunted house there had ever been. So haunted, so spooky. I mean, the basement was already spooky to me, so I knew it was going to be the perfect place. Jamey and John had been telling me the basement was haunted since I could remember. Probably just to scare me, but I believed it to be true. Jamey had so many ghost stories, he seemed like an expert. I was absolutely sure this was going to be the best idea we had yet, which we had many. Jamey and I were always scheming up some plan to do something elaborate and big as our next project. So when Jamey came to me with the idea of the haunted house, I was fully on board right away, and the plans commenced. We started hyping it at school, elementary school, mind you. I think it must have been like third or fourth grade, and we were the best hype people for each other, and this haunted house was no exception. We were building it up at school for like a month, telling people how haunted, how spooky it was going to be. We started hanging sheets in the basement to make a maze, and then planning a bowl of eyeballs, peeled grapes, and brains, spaghetti, for people to stick their hands into while they were blindfolded. Faye, Jamie's mom, had been kind enough to turn over her basement to us, which served as her craft area. There were always dried flowers and some beautiful fall leaf project down there. I love going down there to see her latest creations, but this haunted weekend, the space was to be ours to decorate as we wished. We had full permission to take it over. There was so much preparing, and it was super fun spending extra time with Jamey. Whenever we were engaged in one of our projects, we were inseparable and totally immersed. I remember the build as weeks and months, but in reality, it probably just took a couple days. I think time stands still when you're a kid, or maybe I just wish it did. I remember the haunted house being a total hit. Everyone was appropriately scared and left feeling fulfilled by our promise of a spooky night. But what is seared in my memory is Tally's troll earring that was left behind. After everyone left and the party was cleaned up, a single troll earring had been left behind. We knew whose earring it was, and we had every intention of returning said earring to the rightful owner. That is, until we found a hole in the concrete floor that went deep into the earth with no end in sight. It was a well to nowhere, a hole in the fabric of the earth. We had to give it a sacrifice, or we knew it would haunt us forever. So I just looked at Jamey with a knowing nod. We both knew what had to be done. We had to sacrifice this troll to the ghosts of the basement. This is where they all entered from. This was the portal straight to the other world. And plop, there it went into the hole, never to be seen again. But we knew we were safe from the ghosts, at least for now.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay. There's some standout differences, but we'll discuss them in a minute. We'll discuss them in a minute.
Okay, you gotta read yours.
Me still. I had forgotten about the spaghetti and the peeled grapes. Of course that was. So that's not part of mine. What are you snacking on? Making me hungry.
Ooh, popcorn.
That sounds good. All right, you ready? Ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. All right, K&J story number 3, haunted house. I decided to throw a Halloween party because I really wanted to use the strobe light I saved up to buy from Spencer's Gifts at North Lake Mall for something other than my bedroom solo dance numbers. My bestie Catherine and I decided to host the party together, planning a boy-girl invitation list. Not unheard of for kids our age, 11 and 12, or about third gradish, I think. Having my guy friends over was no big deal, but most of the neighborhood girls hadn't been to my house before except to attend my family's annual Christmas pancake breakfast. Our thinking was that with Catherine throwing the shindig along with me, we could probably rope a fairly large gathering of classmates. So we talked it up big time with friends at school, working to generate excitement for the event, telling everyone that in addition to pizza and ice cream, our homemade haunted house would be the pepperoni on top of an epic fright fest. Once the invitations were mailed, we got to work designing the haunted house in the junk room of my parents' basement, planning pathways around my mother's craft area, my father's work table, and the piles of crapola we'd accumulated as a family and stuffed into what my Aunt Paula would call an oh hell room, the place where you put shit that has no better place to go. We delineated pathways by tacking sheets into the floorboards above, which stretched nearly floor to ceiling, creating a twisty-turny maze through the room. We were both proud and impressed with our handiwork, thinking the design was pretty effective. There was only one way in and one way out. Pretty scary if you ask me. I mean, who wants to be trapped in a dark basement junk room? Not me. With the pathway in place, we began planning the jump scares that would be tucked around corners, ready to pounce. Honestly, 35 years later, I don't remember specifically what we concocted to scare our guests, though I kind of recall a terrifying Freddy Krueger mask that Catherine brought from her basement that probably belonged to her brother Brian, which worked on me even in the daylight. Methinks we put it over a styrofoam mannequin head and positioned it in a dark spot because that's how we staged it in Catherine's basement, guarding our clubhouse entrance behind their furnace. Take that, Snoops. Anywho, the meandering path combined with a cassette tape of spooky Halloween sounds and my flashing strobe light pulsating across our maze of bed sheets had us feeling that we'd achieved our objective. And we must have done a good job because I definitely remember an overall sense of satisfaction after everyone had made their way through. There was lots of screaming, scrambling, and everyone was in need of pizza and ice cream after. In short, the boy-girl Halloween bash was a success. But what stands out most in my memory was the two-person after-party Catherine and I had while cleaning up the following day. While putting the junk room back how we found it, we discovered a troll pumpkin earring that must have fallen off a guest amidst all the scariness. You remember the treasure trolls that were big in the 90s that had wild stick-up hair and a sparkly jewel in their belly button? Yeah. They were even made into holiday-themed jewelry, probably a prize out of an arcade claw machine. We had every intention of returning it, but jokingly, I dangled the earring over a tiny hole in our concrete basement floor and pretended to drop it, but actually did. Whoops. Kind of horrified. I remember trying to fish it out with a coat hanger, but we're pretty sure it had already fallen all the way through the earth to China. With nothing else to do, we bid the troll pumpkin earring farewell and got back to cleaning up the party mess, laughing all the way. Now, neither of us gave it another thought until back at school on Monday when the owner of the bauble asked us if we had found her lost jewelry. Guiltily, we didn't own up to it, feeling awful, knowing that the pair of pumpkin troll earrings could never be reunited, separated for all of time. The disappointment on her face will always haunt me, like the Freddy Krueger mask. But I must admit, it brings me great joy to know that there will forever be a purple-haired troll pumpkin earring beneath the foundation of the house I grew up in from the Halloween bash we threw that year. Should it ever be recovered, I guess it could be adapted into a necklace, a hair charm, or rocked as a solo earring. That is, unless we can track down its original mate. Until then, it shall continue to serve as a spooky reminder for all to secure your valuables before entering a haunted house because you're gonna get spooked and your earrings are gonna head for the exit.
Oh my god, that is so good. You're so good at like talking about details of like I don't remember
I
them.
thought yours was better. When you remember, that's the best part, is that with our memories combined, earth, fire, wind, water, heart,
Heart.
a whole story emerges. And
Oh my god.
I'm so grateful that we started this project eons ago. Okay, so first, I did not remember the spaghetti brains, and I didn't remember the peeled grapes. Although I know that those are essential for any homemade Halloween spooky thing. I even stated I didn't remember what the jump scares were. I knew that there were stops along the maze path. I mean, there was a whole bunch of like, it's just dark and scary and we're screaming at you. And that Halloween tape was scary as so.
I had forgotten about the Halloween tape. And I also like as I was telling the story, I was kind of coming back to me that like we had made like a maze with sheets and stuff. And like I forgot about the strobe light, which probably I just remember like being like, we just made like the spookiest haunted house that anyone has ever made, and like
it was epic. It was the pepperoni on top. And I'm guessing at the pizza and ice cream part, but that sounds very.
Sounds right.
Sounds very like Faye, you're having a party. We're gonna order some pizza.
Yeah.
I ain't cooking shit for all y'all.
Yeah. No, it was dope.
Yeah, and it was scary. And I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to Tally.
Yeah, Tally Galan, if you're listening.
We have lots of love for you, and we should have been brave and owned up to the fact that we found your earring, but then lost it. So
I know, but just know that your sacrifice kept us from being haunted.
Right, and it's serving as a talisman, like blocking a portal in my basement.
Yeah, exactly. Like even I think probably protecting the new owners, you know?
I know. Interesting enough, there have been several since the Hudnalls moved out. So. It's a tiny hole. Who knows what's going to come through it, but
I'm kind of imagining Ghostbusters, like, you know, like the portal, it just like comes through. So if anybody does like take that troll earring out, it's just like opens the portal.
It's going to come out with like a full perm or something like that. They did have jewels in their. Well, I think the pricier ones had jewels in their belly buttons or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And of course, this was a miniaturized jewelry version, so I had a bunch of those, and I think there might actually still. There's still some boxes of crapola downstairs that I have to go through. That when we sold our house in 2004, so much of that shit ended up here in this basement, and we've all made efforts to go through it, and we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. The basement actually looks really good.
Nice.
There's probably some
portal. Is there a portal at the cabin that we should put a troll in?
Well, if they're down there, they're already working, I would guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Beside whatever's attached to the bed, but I don't sleep in that room. So
just like tape some trolls to either side of your dad's bed.
Yeah, I guess that would work. I don't know. Did y'all do anything for Halloween? Did y'all?
We did not. We were still recovering from COVID. So I worked at the hardware store, and they do like a downtown Halloween trick-or-treat thing.
Fun.
We gave out 1,700 pieces of candy.
Damn.
Yeah, so a lot of people came through in like 2.5 hours or 3 hours. Candy or trick-or-treaters? No, my boss just dumped the last of the candy. I mean, honestly, what we had was not that good because by the end he had to go to Safeway twice to get more candy because we went through so much. So by the end, it was like Dum Dums and those colored Tootsie Rolls that are like red, green, blue. Yeah. Like what flavor is that?
The stuff that's still in your bucket when you pull out your thing the following year. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was all right with it, but I do love, you know how much I love Halloween candy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bummer this year was like chocolate candy was so expensive that there just wasn't an abundance of it post Halloween like I was hoping.
I didn't get any this. Well, I mean, I didn't go down to Atlanta to trick or treat with the nephews this year, so I should take myself.
We went one year. You and I went.
Yeah,
trick or treat with them
one year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we all went. Yeah, their neighborhood has a great turnout. Way more kids than we had in our neighborhood. I mean, it was you, me, our brothers, and then occasionally Sarah Reedy up the street, and I think that was it.
Stuart sometimes came, and then Jenny Milano.
Yeah, Jenny Milano. And we had the perfect neighborhood for it because our neighborhood really was just a circle.
Yeah.
And everyone really, in those days, everyone really participated. There was always that retired dentist who gave you toothpaste and a toothbrush and an apple. Pass.
Yeah.
I remember Halloween's and like, you know, years after always getting the toothbrush and stuff being like, fuck those guys, let's just go next door. And our mother's being like, no, y'all go up and get the goddamn toothbrush and say thank you, and then you can move on, go to the next house or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
The toothbrush because you're going to use it, probably. You know, I don't have to buy you a toothbrush.
You know who I'm talking about, though, that lived on the corner, that like would sit in the front yard, and shoot squirrels and grew cotton on their side yard. 80s.
I know. You would think that we grew up in the country, but we grew up like when I tell people where I grew up, they're like, "Oh my God, you grew up in the city." Like Atlanta, like grew up like in the city of Atlanta, and
We
like
were exit what 30 Claremont exit is what? It's the Emory and CDC exit for off of
yeah,
80, but it's exit 32 where it used to be. I don't know.
yeah. But these guys that lived on the corner would sit in folding chairs and shoot birds and squirrels out of the magnolia tree.
That's what you do in your retirement, or that's what you did back then.
I
Either
know,
that or
and like
you become an epic gardener
yeah,
or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but like when I think about it now, I'm like that's kind of wild.
Yeah, firearms in the city limits. Yeah, uh-huh. I mean, also it was a very busy cut through, so unless you were paying attention, imagine that a missed shot could clip a car or a bus.
Well, and like also we played in that tree. Like
We were bicyclists, like we were all around that. Honestly, I don't know that I ever remember hearing the gun go
yeah.
off,
I
but
feel like we just found dead animals in the tree. I don't know. I feel like I'm making stuff up.
I don't know.
Um
I remember that we were
okay,
both
wait.
wizards one year. We both had wizard costumes. You thought of it first, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm in on that. We're both wizards." And so we got some like color, like iridescent
Yeah.
fabric from the fabric store that somebody sewed into basically like a tube, like a rigatoni
Mm-hmm.
noodle that we just slipped into.
That sounds comfortable.
And it was always hot. It was either rainy or always hot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or not always. There were occasional.
What were you the year that I was like a goblin?
I think I
I,
always
that's
just copied you. I had a purple clown wig and some like things or whatever. You're like, I'm gonna be a
yeah,
goblin. I was like, I'm gonna be a goblin. I'm gonna be a wizard.
yeah.
Me too. It's
Too
exactly what I'm gonna
crazy.
be. Oh my god.
Um,
I'm gonna be whatever I
yeah,
have in my costume box, which is, minimal effort.
yeah,
I had real costumes as like a wee child, but I don't know that we were circling the block together in those days. I'm thinking more along the
yeah.
years when our parents were like, "Y'all just be safe and come back."
Oh my god, Halloween! Like, I just feel like Halloween is such a good. Like we were talking about this a little bit when we were talking about doing this episode, but like, I do think it's a really good opportunity for people to be creative.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
when people come up with costumes, like, and like you have to like figure out how to make it, and you have to find materials and like work with what you've got. Like, I just love that part of Halloween of like the craftiness of it. And like I have this friend who I'm not in touch with really as much anymore, but Amy Hernandez, do you remember her? She was like so good at costumes and Halloween. Like just amazing.
I have to be honest, I never put that much effort into it as an adult. Like, I remember being at Alabama and like I just put on my painting overalls and I was like, I'm local.
Do you remember when Marcia and I don't think you were here, but you saw
Was it
the
the
photo.
shrimp thing? Because the
Well,
shrimp
the
thing
shrimp
stands out
thing
in my
was
mind.
for her. Amy made those tails actually,
They were so
but the shrimp
good.
thing was for her dissertation. So she studied shrimp, and we dressed up as shrimp and did a shrimp dance.
Are you talking about Restored Jesus or whatever? The
Yes.
Oh my god, we need a picture of that. That's the best costume to ever walk the streets. What it was that woman, and it was this medieval.
Cecilia Vijeveques, I think was her name, and she was like a church lady in Italy. And like, you know how church ladies are like, oh, I need to help out or whatever. And like, it just turns out that at
Oh,
her
but they
church,
fresco.
there
Need
was a
some-
Jesus fresco that had been dilapidated. And she was like, let me just touch this up. You
You
know,
know
it's
what
like
this means?
a 13th century painting of Jesus. She's like, I am going to touch this up and make it like this is when the internet was good. I just have to
Yeah,
say this. If like
yeah,
this was like when the internet was not trash.
right.
But so she touched up the Jesus fresco and it did not look the same as it did before. It looked like people called it Beast Jesus because it was like it was
Oh my
so
god, that's what.
and
Yeah, we need
so
that needs to be shared on Instagram for sure.
yeah, I was the lady. I was Cecilia Villaveques, and I would go up to Marcia, and she had two masks. She had like the dilapidated Jesus fresco with like peeling paint, and I would come up to her and I'd be like, "Oh, it is dilapidated," and then I would like paint, and then she had this Beast Jesus mask, and it was. I gotta say, I think that is our best costume.
Well, it was also it was so inspired, and it's one of those great opportunities where y'all where somebody's taken something that's just occurred in current events or whatever and made the most out of it.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like only like 10% of people knew what our costume was, but those
Oh, I knew
10%
exactly.
like really appreciated it.
I know. Like, I'm sure there were a million Labubu's this year.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Or, I mean, not that
Now
we can
people probably
station it.
just like AI their costumes. Ugh.
Right. And of course, when we were little, we had just those plastic face things. Like, I was Heathcliff or Garfield or something like that. Or
Yeah, but I will say, like, we didn't have Spirit Halloween. Like, you could not buy a costume in a bag, or maybe you could, but I feel like you couldn't, like you can now. Whereas, like, you had to be more creative.
right. Or just order it from Amazon or whatever. Just order
Yeah.
it online. Like, yeah. No, there was a lot more
Yeah.
creativity involved in becoming a wizard or a goblin or whatever the hell. Or
Yes.
Velma. I mean, shit, that was a great one.
That was a good costume.
And I looked fantastic. If I won't be home in time to be able to share a picture of that, but maybe I can add it to
Oh
our
my god, I know.
podcast.
I don't think I have a photo of it.
I was Mario one year and I had these great Mario white gloves. I had 4 fingers on them and wore the overalls again that year.
That was a good costume. I remember that one.
Yeah, that was a fun party.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Did your parents do anything? Did your parents have trick-or-treaters?
They did. They said they got like 100.
Holy shit. See, they don't do it in downtown. Well, they do it in downtown Natchez, but they do it all on the bluff. Like, people aren't answering their door giving out candy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If they do, I haven't really seen much of that in a decade, and I'm the Grinch with his porch light off. So
we do that too.
Yeah, I save up for Christmas when I give candy to myself, put it in the stockings of my nephews and stuff.
Oh my god. Yeah. We have our dog and her wig would fall off and apparently my parents' dog loved Halloween and was like obsessed with all the children that came. So she was stoked. But it would stress Buddy out. So we just turn our light off.
It has to be the first dog your parents have had that's enjoyed Halloween. Don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she loves children, apparently. I don't know what that's about, but yeah. You have to come meet her. But yeah, well, any other spooky stories? The only other spooky story I could think of that's not really necessarily spooky, but was when I fell down the stairs of the basement.
Well, because my basement was spooky and there was a spook in that house, but it wasn't in the basement. It was like upstairs. Because I remember being in the basement and hearing footsteps, like being alone and hearing footsteps, like somebody going up and down the hallway and being like, who the fuck is back? Like, everybody's supposed to be gone. And I went up those stairs one time and there was music blaring, like church music blaring out of a alarm clock radio in my parents' bedroom. And I was like, what the fuck? And I tried to turn it off and it didn't turn off. And I went to unplug it and it didn't stop. And I turned it over and it was too old for batteries. So I ran from the house screaming, like all the way up to your house. I mean, I think I was in college. Like, I think that's when.
I remember this story.
There's a
I think that was when it was at least when like John was living in the basement, I think, and he'd be like, come hang out down here. And I was like, ew, no, it is haunted as fuck, dude. Like, why do you live down there?
Because we weren't down there. Yeah, so you slipped. I just remember being down there. He and I were watching TV and like you'd gone upstairs to get something and come back. And then we heard this and we were like, we looked at each other and we're like, was that Catherine? And then like, we didn't hear anything else. They heard on the wall, like beating the wall or whatever. We're like, and get up and run around. And there you are. You've had the wind knocked out of you. You're like a crazy 8 on the stairs. And you're like, I got the wind knocked out of me and y'all didn't care. Y'all were sitting there laughing like, ah. Yeah.
Oh my God. Typical drama me of like, I remember like I like closed my door on my head one time and like cut myself here. And like my parents were inside and I just laid in the driveway for like an hour and no one came to like help me. And I went in and I was like, oh my God, no one cares about me.
Parents of the year in here.
Oh my God. I'm literally the worst. Like I also like one time we were at the beach with Heidi's family and I hid in the closet for like an hour and I was like, nobody even looked for me. So annoying. Yeah, I was like, you guys don't even care about me. I got the wind knocked out of me. But
I could have been dragged out to sea.
Maybe the ghost pushed me. Don't you?
Oh, I don't know. I never thought
Like
about it like
thinking
that.
back on it, like would I really have slipped like that? I was pretty
It's like,
agile.
fuck this hoe.
I know, just pushed like ghost style.
Well, there were all those. You remember we had that crazy wallpaper on the stairs down to my basement. Remember, and one of them had like a naked lady on it, and it was like, remember, it was like
It was like
newspaper,
newsprint.
newspaper. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
it was wallpaper designed to look like Victorian want ads or something like that. And one of them had a woman that had her breast exposed, and it like had it and said something like "wonderful talisman" or something at the top. It was like cures everything or something, and like because it was wallpaper, it was repeated over and over and over again. So this
I have to
boob was
agree.
up and down the hallway. I'm surprised you don't remember it.
Woman's bosom does cure all.
Amazing talisman.
Oh my god, amazing talisman. Either that or a troll earring. Those are your choices.
Well, this has been a delight going down memory lane. The spaghetti has made me hungry. And
Get
I
you
will be.
some.
No, I'll be having a quesadilla inspired by you.
Mm.
One of the last times you were up here. Tacos.
I love tacos.
Oh, I do too. I do too. I found refried black beans at my local grocer's. I'm like, ooh, go ham, Jamey Hudnall.
Well, thank you for listening to our spooky episode.
You're gonna have a great time editing this one.
Oh my god. Not editing anything out, leaving it all. Yeah. Follow us, subscribe, do all the things that Casey would say, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Share your great costume ideas below.
Yes.
Give us some ideas for the future.
Yeah. Share photos, tag us, do all that stuff. We'll post some photos on Instagram of us both at homecoming and as goblin mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Toodles possums. Toodles.
Bye.